Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity to give me a talk today, and I would like to give a presentation of how I can present myself, talking about my professional and teaching activities and my future plans and what I'm doing in my everyday life. So I was born in Kirovsk, Russia, and it is north of this country, and I was born actually in a very small town where it's located in the mountain area where you get snow most of the year, and here we have nice mountain skiing resorts with trampolines. We also, on the other hand, we have a lot of resources, natural resources. Then we can excavate. Therefore, we have a lot of mines. And my father was a miner, and my mother was a doctor in the hospital. And I was start thinking maybe I will do also these medical activities. Therefore, I have to relocate. I have to move forward, and the next step would be to go to Novgorod-the-Great. Novgorod-the-Great is actually a very famous city. It's recently they celebrated 1140th anniversary. So it's the oldest city in Russia. And here you see it's also signed by that memorial of Millennium of Russia, where they are putting together all the historic events. And on this monument you can see that there are different scenes from Russian history, and they're engraved in stone. And therefore we have a lot of churches, different memorials here, and people are going to see these holy places, I would say, and they are very excited from all over the world. On the other hand, I was studying at medical school at the Novgorod State University when I was doing my medical studies from 1998 to 2004, and when I was studying infectious diseases, when I did my internship. Afterwards, I took a position as an assistant professor when I was teaching immunology, infectious diseases, together with human morphology. As you can see, some specimens here when we are using in the daily routines. And now I must say that they have some financing, and so they can buy even plastinates. Probably you already know that the best plastinates are made in Austria by Günther Verhagens, and they have an exhibition all over the world. One was in Nuremberg, I think 2 months ago, and they were exhibiting some corpses from real patients and together with some animals. So it was also exciting. Myself, I would like to participate, but unfortunately, I didn't have the time for that. And this is the table about my professional activities and my efforts when I succeeded. At the university, I also did a lot of clinical graduate practice. When I did medical nurse practice, hospital, general practitioner, and also intensive care specialist practice. On the other hand, I had some prizes and awards. I got some awards in Russian literature, together with some prizes in my subject in immunology and microbiology when I was a student. So, and as well as with some memberships in the scientific societies. Currently I'm a member of different scientific societies, including neuroscience, American Nano Society, Russian Biotechnological Society and the European Biotechnologists Network. So, and when I pursued my professional activities, I had an opportunity to go to abroad, to broaden my horizons, and to deepen my knowledge in some biomedical research and development. For instance, when I went to Italy afterwards, from 2006 to 2007, I was a research associate in a pharmaceutical institute in Italy, when we studied some diseases related to genetic mutations. And this was also very successful research experience and training I got that time. And I also published many papers in high impact factor scientific journals and did good stuff on my subject. And finally I relocated to the University of Würzburg, when I started my MD PhD studies as a PhD student under the supervision of late Professor Dr. Axel Reffler. And we did a lot of research dedicated to some pathogenesis of retroviruses using some molecular techniques, polymerase chain reaction, Western blotting, and others. And we also had a very prolific output afterwards. We published in very high impact factor journals with some very, very well-known collaborators in this field. So I'm actually proud of that I had the possibility to work in this institute. And this is one of the best institutes that dealing with virology, dealing with the research in virology field in Germany, together with Koch Institute in Germany. So I would say I had a really good studies in this institute.
Excuse me, one short question. Could you explain to me the graphic?
Yes.
Within 1 minute, what is it about?
This is about the cystic fibrosis transregulator mechanism, how it's going, how it's maturating, it's going through from nucleus to apical plasma membrane. And once it goes to plasma membrane, it serves as a ion conductance regulator. It's pumping up and down ions. So this is vital thing you have to achieve in order to make mucus in your lungs much more, let's say, much more liquid, for instance. And if this mutation is occurred, known as a cystic fibrosis mutation, then you impair the function of this protein. And once the function is impaired, there is no more conductance of ions. So the mucus is very thick and infection occurs. Therefore, there is a very, very high rate of mortality for these patients. And cystic fibrosis is known as a disease when the life expectancy is less than 25 years, so which is very dramatic. So, as a next step, I had an opportunity to take a position as a postdoctoral fellow and lecturer at the University of Würzburg, in the Department of Anesthesia and Critical Care here. And we are also very much interested in doing basic research together with some applied science studies, when we are trying to put our knowledge to a rational drug design to come up with some very potential substances. Then you can establish better anesthesia, for instance, and via formulation using different mechanisms and biochemical approaches. And here also the substance that we are trying to improve using our method to make improve our anesthetics possibilities that we have here in clinics. On the other hand, as you can see, we also have a lot of operations on the laboratory animals, and we harvesting different parts, and afterwards the samples are ready. We can analyze these samples using different techniques, biomedical techniques. So that's what we are doing. We are operating the animal, and we are, for this reason we are doing skull operation in order to analyze some different areas in the brain to establish drug distribution in these particular areas, and to come up with some pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic mechanisms for the analyzed substances. Therefore, we have to improve our teaching skills for this. We are involved in many teaching activities. For instance, as you may see here, I am doing a lot of teaching courses, and they are mostly dedicated to rational drug design, where we're trying to investigate molecular mechanism of drug pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics using some approaches in the blood-brain barrier research, for instance. And to improve there, we're using some biophysical approaches. And on the other hand, in order to excel in our field, we have to participate in a lot of conferences. We're giving a lot of talks and writing a lot of scientific reports. And this is one of the latest conferences I participated. This was in France, where we are presenting our data and sharing our ideas in a scientific society. So here, as you can see, I'm giving a report and sharing some ideas with my colleagues and peer reviewing specialists. And actually, they're from Germany. They're Germans. We are from the same area, I would say. So they're from Munich, University of Munich. So I'm planning to establish a strong collaboration with them, and I'm looking forward that we can also be prolific in this way. So this is our output, and we're publishing a lot of data, and I'm glad to say that finally we succeeded to publish in many high impact factor journals, including Nature publication, which is known to be a top journal in natural sciences. Yes. And that's pretty much all about it, so thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.